Today we're going to be talking about Blender and how I utilize Blender to make verticals for YouTube, Instagram. Um, I typically use them taking footage from PUBG and Twitch and combining a wide plus a vertical, but you can utilize this however you want. I'm going to pop up on screen just a few quick couple seconds of what I do so that you can kind of get an idea of what I might be talking about. Everyone's going to have their own different use situation, but hopefully this will help you out as well in whatever way, shape, or form that you're using this. So here we are in Blender. I already have this pulled up. We'll pull up a fresh one here in a second. I am going to turn off my head cam so that we can see the entire screen. So normally when we pull up Blender, it's going to look something similar to this depending on which version of Blender you have. Currently, I'm working off of 4.3.2. So I'm just going to go up here. I'm not even going to click anything here. I'm just going to do File, New. And then there's a little thing here that says Video Editing. So we're going to click here on Video Editing. All right, so now that we're here, this is our canvas, essentially, that we're going to be working with. And before we do anything whatsoever, we need to go over here to Output and actually change where our files are going. Because there's been many times that I've lost a video that I've rendered, and I just can't find it. And it's because it gets put in this weird temp folder on the C drive. So if I just open up a Explorer window here, the only way I know how to get there is literally just to go here, and it's may or may not find it for you. Or sometimes it just seems like it's lost forever. But before I do that, I'm going to, and you can see here, that's the same file folder. It's a lost folder somewhere on the C drive that's very difficult to locate. Let's just say that. So depending on where you want your output, most of you are probably going to be having a C drive. I have multiple directories so that I can stick stuff different places. For now, we're just going to put this on. We'll put it here on this drive that I have. This is my F drive. You guys would probably be doing your C drive. Well, we can do it on my C drive. All right, so we have my C drive. I'm going to put it under just videos for today, and we're going to accept so that once this go aheads and renders, we can locate our video project. Okay, so next up, I'm going to just scroll up from where we were here on output to format. So for YouTube verticals, they have to, you basically need to invert your X and Y axis. So our X axis right now is 1920. That needs to be set to 1080. And you could, if you wanted to, do a square video that does fit on both Instagram and YouTube. But what I've been doing is 1080 by 1920. And then that gives us our vertical canvas. So hopefully you'll have some experience here with Blender a little bit. We're currently in my documents drive. You can see that up here, but I actually want to click. There's kind of like a little arrow right here. Click over here, and my footage that I have saved is currently in my F drive that we're going to be using here under vertical shorts. And you can see that I already have several of these completed. So what I'm going to do is we'll take this footage right here, drop this in, and just so that I know I have as much room as possible to edit as far out as I possibly can edit, I'm going to go down here to the end, my end frames down here, and I'm just going to hit 1. I'm going to spam 0 for a second, and then that will get me as many frames as possible that Blender possibly can render, which, let's see, gives us currently almost 5 hours, which we're not doing a 5-hour video, I can tell you that much. So we have our footage here. You can see that it shrunk it down to try to fit the video actually into this canvas. What I want to do is I want to essentially be able to zoom in and adjust how this is setting in here. So with this newest update, which is kind of nice, it actually Blender locks your audio plus your video together, which is kind of cool. But it can also be a little bit of a headache. I also like to work with the magnet on, or the snapping on. So this will now snap this to frame 1. In order to be able to make this into a vertical video without having this giant black render on top or bottom, we need to go down here. I'm going to right click on this, and way down here at the bottom, there's a little thing that says disconnect strips or connect strips, depending on what you're trying to do. So right now we're going to disconnect the strips. Maybe it'll work for us. There we go. Okay, I must not have been clicked on there. So now, if I click off these and then I go back on, these are now independent of each other, and I could technically move them around however. However, we're not going to do that right now. So I have my top clip selected and not the audio file selected. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Add, Effect Strip, and then Transform. So that gives us a transform layer on top of this. So what we're going to do now is go over here to the right. And so there's this scaling stuff that we have. What I like to do is I want a uniform scale. You could not do this, I guess, technically, and then do just absolutely nuts stuff like this. I don't want that. So I'm going to click uniform scale. And so that's going to scale it uniformly. So it's not going to be goofy looking. It's maybe a good way to say it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of blow this up and zoom in. So you have to remember when you're doing this is hopefully whatever your subject matter is here in the center of your video, so that it's not too there's not a whole bunch of stuff off to one side and the other that you're trying to utilize in this footage. So now that we have that, I want the video basically to be a little more center on this PUBG character who's getting obliterated by me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, still being over here in this effect strip area, we're going to go down here to transform. And then we can decide what the position is of this video. So I'm going to click down here onto my actual video clip. And I can drag this one way or another. Just so what I'm physically doing is I'm clicking here, and then I'm moving my mouse to the right or to the left. Another way you can do it is, manually clicking, or you can say how far which direction you want. So if we want this at, say, 25 pixels, we can hit 25 and then just hit enter, and it's going to move it 25 pixels to the right. And then if we wanted it, say, no, that's too far, we actually need to go the other way, you could do negative whatever, and then it's going to move your image the other direction. So that looks maybe about center. It's actually, I guess, going to turn out to be 149. And we can go ahead and play our animation here. And yep, he's about center. Okay, so now let's pretend we have all of our information, or all of our videos stitched together. YouTube Shorts are about 60 seconds or so. I believe that you can now maybe do up to 1:30 on with some different vertical formats. So before we go ahead and send this off to be rendered, we got to remember it's going to basically try to render this all the way until our nearly 5 hours. So I'm going to bring my I'm going to bring this line back here that shows us what frame we're on. There's probably an official name for this thing that I can't think of off the top of my head. Down here in the right-hand corner, we're at frame 740. So I'm going to just change my ending frame to frame 740. And here's my entire video. I can now go up here to render and click render animation. And then that's going to render this animation that we did into one area, or it's going to render it to one video essentially. So if I then go to my vertical shorts and wherever the, oh, that's right, because we sent it to videos. It's right here. So hopefully that helps someone somewhere, someplace, somewhere down the road. If not, I guess you guys watch the YouTube video for a couple minutes. Anyways, have a great day, YouTube.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.